What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stressin. I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans commenter. And yeah, appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm actually on time today. I was a minute late, but look at me, man. I'm getting my stuff together. But yeah, today will be fun. I've decided to do a live interactive mock draft with you guys, but I'll kind of start out just touching on recent topics and just kind of Q&A until then. But I've kind of watched some other mock drafts like from national accounts, and was thinking like, man, it's fun like if we could like poll like all of our collective thoughts. And I plan on doing that too on Twitter, like running polls like biggest position of need out of these four players, who would you want, just to kind of see where everybody's at, because we're all in this together. But shout out my guy, Mr. Optimistic. Yes, mock draft season is definitely upon us. It's a great time. It's bittersweet, wish we'd be playing in the Super Bowl, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Mr. Optimistic also says, Max, I always mess up his name, Ionacre. How do you pronounce his name again? I knew I was going to have to pronounce his last name. Ihanakor might be how it's pronounced. He says him or Riot. Texans Takeover says agreed. What's up, Stressins? What's going on, bro? Over on IG, let's see who we got on IG. We got IJlo, Houston Stressin. What you got for me today? Got the mock draft, bro. Joya TSR, what's up, brother? And Nike God, be blessing. Facts, be blessing. Kitchen 56, Kit CJ Stroud out of Houston. He's put an Strout. Send him to the Arena League. I understand we're frustrated, but that might be a little too harsh there, buddy. I think we'll be fine, but I get it. I can't, it was a rough playoffs, but we'll get through it. Joya says, you think we might get Joe Burrow? I do not. Charles Bolton, get Tyreek Hill. I don't see that happening. I don't know that we would be able to use him. Scott Ye says, got Tank back, no need. Yep. Sammy Franco, thanks for the content, brother. Appreciate that, Sammy. Yeah, of course, man. And yeah, this offseason too, like, season ends. I went to the Senior Bowl, which was awesome. So you start getting familiar with, draft scouts, and then I'll probably do this, and then I'll probably start tapping in next week into free agency, a deeper dive into needs and guys out there and guys that we can, potentially sign, start going over, which we can touch on here, potential cut candidates, where you can save money, all that good stuff. And so that's, but I do this off season. I'm not sure when, but I'll kind of reassess myself and on all the content and stuff, and try to provide like new things for you guys. Like, I want to start writing articles more again. I don't know how many of y'all enjoy that or not, but I also want to on YouTube do more, I do these live streams and I just go on rants for an hour to 3 hours, but I want to, I would like my goal would be to do daily, like 10-minute videos. It's just tough because there's so much stuff, and I want to, hit every medium, because I know everyone likes to consume things in different ways. So I'll probably try and, get to there. And like, as always, if y'all can, or have any positive, or positive or negative feedback or criticism on things that I do that you do or don't like, or that you would like to see more of. And, I have my website, which I like the idea I have for my website. I see like a lot of companies try to do it, but like, I feel like it's just a great idea. I just got to make it into an app, but like an all-in-one encompassing Texans community. So maybe this offseason I'll get back into that. But I mean, having like a Discord embedded into it, I have, all the Texans content creators, all their directories, and if there's a way to embed everybody's stuff in there, I just feel like there's a way to do it. So, and then, yeah, the articles, like, I love writing them, but it just takes so much time, where I could be posting on Twitter, or, clipping interview content, or doing live streams, or whatever else may be. But, it'd be nice to like really get daily articles too, like that'd be another goal of mine. And I think like, if, I do this because I love it. Like, I love the Texans, but if it becomes like a thing where I can like have it monetized enough to justify the time and the effort and, all this stuff that goes into it, then I feel like I can get to where I can start to do that. And that's like the dream, dude. Like, This is just an extreme passion. I'm in a fortunate position to be able to do this. Um, but as far as like, like me going to the Senior Bowl, like that was like my first taste of like journalism, like going and interviewing guys. I was like, this shit is awesome, bro. Like I loved every second of that, like watching like the scouting aspect. I was like, man, I want to be a scout. Like interviewing the players, like, man, I want to be a journalist. Being at like the media scrum, kind of like going around. I was like, and so I am, fingers crossed, potentially maybe going to the NFL draft. Like I love the Senior Bowl so much. I was like, man, I got to find a way to go to the draft and do this. So I mean, I talked to people there too that like their full time job is like, this. Like obviously you got guys in Texans community doing it, but like I think there's a viable way, where I could do more. So I'll have to assess at some point like structure and all that. But that being said, going on a rant, tell me things, give me feedback, things you want, don't want, etc. Merch. I got like flags and I can make new shirts. I got the store, all that stuff. I'm just trying, like, I'm a fan. Like I am one of us, one of y'all. I'm just trying to provide things for us because I know there's like a huge appetite and demand for this team, as there should be. It's football in Houston. And I think it'll only continue to grow because I think this team is continuing to go up and up. So let's go here. Let me get some more comments. Lord Tubington, give me O-line or give me death. I heavily agree. Thanks for the repost on X. And yeah, if you're on YouTube, it helps if you comment, obviously, and like. If you don't, subscribe or follow me on all platforms, either at Texans Commenter or Houston Stressins. Feel free to subscribe to my free newsletter, HoustonStressins.com. Also, there's just so much stuff. I'm sorry. I know it's annoying. Apple, Spotify, if you could follow me on there and do reviews, even if you don't use it, that would be appreciated as well. Shout out Dot, says, what's up? MJ, doing a great job, Stressins. Please keep it up. I appreciate that, man. He says, killing it. That means a lot, brother. I appreciate it. Brandon Halam, my guy, Texans draft with trades. Yeah, so I'm usually not a big mock draft guy for multiple reasons. One, I like to at least wait until after free agency because it changes dynamically. But hey, this time I kind of couldn't help myself going to the Senior Bowl and just kind of getting that itch. And then also, like, every time I do it, like, I just know we're going to trade. Like, I'm like, I get to a spot, like, I know we're going to trade. And then also, too, a lot of these simulators, they're not realistic. Like, everyone's big boards are pretty dang good. But as far as it goes, as far as, these NFL teams, like, they're unpredictable. Like, and maybe they're putting information out there, like throwing smoke signals, but like you come draft day and there's always some surprise where we think this guy's going here and he goes early or late and vice versa. But we're fans. We love it. I think the main thing is like getting to know all the players, which I'm still doing admittedly. Like, I don't know, I was so locked in on the season. Like I didn't look at anything besides just watching college football on Saturdays. But like, I was like immersed like in the moment in football, like in regular season. Texans thinking we go all the way, obviously didn't happen. But I'm like, crash course trying to catch up to guys. So like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the best so-and-so if I haven't watched them all. I'm going to say from what I've seen so far, I like this guy, that type of stuff. So, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. Like, I want to learn from y'all. Like, I know a lot of y'all have put a lot of time in the draft and already know. So I'll take your opinions on stuff. So, trade that first and get a second. Yeah. My guy Scott, Nomad Scott, saw you were commenting on the NFL SE mock draft for the Texans, 3 linemen, 1 RB. Yeah, dude, that was cool. Like, I was working out at home actually and had on YouTube, and I was like, oh, and I saw theirs, like, recently started listening to them after the Senior Bowl, like Trevor and I believe what's the other guy's name? Something Scott Rogers maybe, or anyhow, but obviously Trevor Sickma from PFF. And they do like a wheel in Atlanta on the Texans. And like I was commenting before and like, oh, that's cool. We got Texans fans in here, and got to see them do like a 4-round mock draft with the Texans. And I liked it. So Lazy Man 20 Garrett FC is seated. Let's go. who is Lazy Man? That's dope. I appreciate that. Mr. Optimistic, figure out how we can do it for a living and I'll quit my job. Facts. I mean, I've thought about it, dude. Like, obviously, like I've made friends with a lot of you guys. Like, how dope would it be for like us to have like our own medium, at least like enough to like, support our, our addiction or our habit of, football and Texans. That would be dope, dude. Texas Takeover just subs the newsletter. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that big time. I'll get back on it again. Like I said, I haven't been utilizing it, but I'll make it a goal to write articles more and then use the newsletter more. Just, because I know we all want to hear more stuff. Connor Rogers. Yep, that's right. Thanks, Scott. Oh, my guy Cal. What's good? Cal is the guy who made my logo. Cal is a legend, dude. And Cal has made a lot of my shirts. Shout out my guy Cal. Texas Takeover. Did you see Kiki QT is headed to the UFL? I did not. Shout out Kiki QT. I thought that dude had so much talent, bro. I was a big Kiki QT truther. It just never came all together, man. He showed some flashes, in my opinion. Scott says they do fantastic breakdowns of top 10 to 15 players in each position, and Trevor was on with Kunkel the night. I saw that. I need to watch the Kunkel one, and then I need to watch their positions. Brandon says, by the way, IG, I'm going to get to you, but if it's easier if you want to get comments shown, IG, they don't show it on here, but YouTube, X, Facebook, it'll show up on here. Let me do it like this right there. Let's see. Brandon says 4 teams with 2 firsts this draft. There will definitely be some trades. Yep. And then just real quick on IG, what we got on the gram here? CJ Stroud worshiper says I'll be blessing or stressing for next year. I'm blessing, man. I'm always blessing. Scotty says need O-line and HB1. Are we good? Yep. Gun son Godicke says odds on Linderbaum. Probably not high. Obviously it sounds like the Ravens will try to re-sign him, but he's a free agent. But probably going to go for a lot. And Sammy Franco says center. Yep. Let's see what else we got. We got Whisper says, why is no one on here, bro? They're all on. If you're on Instagram, most people are on YouTube, and I got like 330 total. I believe, and potentially more than that. That's just what it shows on 3 of these. So hop over on one of the main platforms, YouTube preferably. Damn it, Montez says, do we prefer Titus Howard as a guard or tackle? That's a great question. I really don't know. And I don't know if they know. I think that my guess would be if there's still a need at draft, even though Caserio doesn't believe in needs, that he'll still go with the BPA as far as tackle or guard and then go from there. I think that's just what I would assume, that they're going to be flexible going into that. But yeah, so let's just scroll through, and not a big mock draft guy either. And then Scotty says can get an RB in the 3rd round. Yep. Okay, well, that's good enough. Sorry if I didn't get to all of them. If there's like a comment or something you want to get out there that I missed, just spam it in the chat. But just, I guess we'll touch on a couple topics since the last time we spoke. The Texans fired the tight end coach and hired, what's his name? Is it Jim or Jeff Ferentz or Ferentz? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The Iowa head coach's son, Ferentz, Kirk Ferentz. And then his son is James Ferentz, is who we signed, who played for the Patriots, was an undersized center. But anyways, there's carryover with Cole Popovich. But he's a O-lineman coaching tight end. So, like, to me, thank you, Texan Takeover, Ferentz, is how it's pronounced. To me, that's a great thing. I know people see it like, oh, Patriots tired, blah, 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 blah. Like, I get it. There is an argument as continuity, but like, I like it because yes, like, and so like watching all the interviews all year, you learn, like, Cole Popovich told Aaron Wilson late in the year in an interview that he brought in Trent Brown because he knew the system, and even when he wasn't playing, he was still a big benefit to the O-line room because he was, and we saw him all training camp, him there coaching, talking to guys, but he's there, like, hey, when he says this, he wants you to do that. So he's like a coach as well, because a different scheme, different techniques, and he has a certain way that he wants it done. So now they're implementing it that way. And now you add James Ferentz in there. Ferentz, gosh dang it. You add James Ferentz in there. And not only is he going to help do that, but at the tight end position. And to me, tight end position heavily struggled this year, especially in blocking. And what's crazy is, like, Schultz was our best blocker as a tight end, and he had been bad the past couple of years at it and more of a receiving threat. When you got guys like Cade Stover somehow had a bad year. I think injuries definitely played a part, but like if all else fails with Cade Stover, he should be a good blocker. And I feel like he was initially in training camp. We saw that big wham block on Derek Brown, the nose tackle in training camp who came through the line of scrimmage. And, I feel like he did pretty good early on, but like he got hurt again, came back. And even in that Patriots game, down the stretch, like he wasn't a very good blocker. And then you saw when Schultz was out, now he's like the tight end one, receiving threat, not a very good receiving tight end. So hopefully he's improved, but like getting blocking better for our tight ends is paramount. So that's a good hire. And then now that's, to me, is something we need to address, is getting a blocking tight end, in my opinion. And we have 3 on the roster and Brevin coming back off the ACL, but like we need a blocking tight end. And this is a good hire, in my opinion. I believe there was another assistant that was hired that was on with a GA at Troy, or maybe he was the GA at Troy. I can't remember. But remind me in the chat if I'm wrong. But we hired somebody that's a GA from Troy, so there's carry there with Pop as well. And then let's see. Aside from that, we had the big news about CJ Stroud with the haircut. I think it's when you cover the team. I mean, I guess I don't even know what you say. When you're a fan of the team and you have a quarterback who does something like that, it's big news, but it doesn't really have any bearing on what's going to happen football wise, but it's like the quarterback of our team. He's been under a lot of scrutiny for his play in the playoffs. It came out reported by Aaron Wilson as well that he declined to play in the Pro Bowl to focus on the offseason. My take on that is it's probably that, and he probably would have been embarrassed to go to the Pro Bowl. Like, I wouldn't want to go and show my face and parade around, and he's probably not happy. So it would be a bad look. And now you're getting roasted everywhere. And then to go there and act like everything's fine and have fun, I'm mad, I'm trying to, not do that. So I was happy to see that. So I think it's a mix of him locking in / I am disgusted with how I played to end the year. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a good thing, in my opinion. And then the haircut, who knows? I mean, maybe it's just him wanting to get a new look, and, it can get overblown. People have fun with it, but whatever. It's whatever, but, he looks young again. Like, you're reminded how young the kid is when he got his haircut. But I think that's pretty much, the gist of what I've missed between now and then. I guess I can just scroll through my Twitter timeline to see if there's any topics I posted about that might be worth mentioning. But yeah, a good number of you guys are piled in here. And so we'll start the mock draft here in a second. I'm just going to scroll through my timeline to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Oh, Jeff Stoutland he quit coaching for the Eagles. Bring him in as a senior advisor. That's I was thinking of Dante Scarnecchia. Okay. Dante Scarnecchia is Cole Popovich's mentor. But yeah, dude, if Stoutland wants to come, give us some advice, we'll take it. But yeah, just scrolling through to make sure I didn't miss anything else here. There's some clips I could show. I mean, the Pro Bowl happened, which was pretty whack. I didn't even watch it. I just saw some clips. But yeah, I guess at the end I can go through and look at the timeline. A couple more comments before we come back in. Shout out Arthur Foxake. I need to look at your email. I haven't had time. He sent me some breakdowns on I forget exactly the topic, but may have been something with Stroud and like a trend or tendency he might have saw. I glimpsed at it briefly, but I need to dig into that. I think you got some good stuff there. So Jackson Miller says, what are the odds we trade out of the first round again? Probably pretty high. And I will say too, going into the draft, I like the position we're in, like the position of where we're at in the draft, like our pick, where the team is. Like, I feel like the needs are less this year. Like, obviously it's O-line, but we still don't know with free agency how it'll shake out. And then, in my opinion, the areas of position of need, which would be obviously O-line, which could be, depending on how they move guys around, Titus, it could be tackle, guard, and or center if they want to try to improve with Jake Andrews. At the very least, we need more depth. I mean, Trent Brown was the linchpin to our entire offense last year, and in the Patriots game, he couldn't go. And now all of a sudden, the domino effect is Titus Howard goes from left guard to right tackle, and you insert Jarrett Patterson at left guard. So at the very least, improving your depth will be good. Like, guys, I think Jared Patterson's, decent and better than what people give him credit for. But like Juice Scruggs was kind of like, okay. And, you had guys like City Sal playing last year. Like, we had bad depth, so at the very least, improve the depth. And so you have, O-line, you have running back right now, potentially with the Mixon thing. Hopefully he's back fine, but like that's potentially a need there. Interior D-line. But those positions, I think it's like O-line and interior D-line and tight ends. Like, to me, there's plenty of them. And there's only a handful that are like top tier. And after that, it's like, all right, there's a whole bunch in that second to third round where you can just, the meat of the draft, get, a lot of solid players. So in that sense, I like the position we're in. I'm just rambling about all kind of stuff right now. Sorry, I haven't got to the draft yet. We're getting there. Optimistic says he's leaning Titus at guard. Yeah, you still got Fisher. He's talking about that's true. So, and yeah, it seems like they like bigger bodies across the O-line, and you get bigger guys at guard, downhill, physical guys running duo. That's something to think about as we go into this mock draft. Dot says Caserio never picks in the bottom of the first round. I see him trading that pick. I agree. And like when we get to the mock draft, we'll see like, all right, we can get this guy or trade and get an extra pick and then get someone pretty much comparable or another position. And that's kind of what I was just alluding to about being in a good spot. Let's see what else. Let's see. Mr. Optimistic says Titus does give them flexibility though on BPA line. Yep. Shout out Grafa. Blessings, my guy. And then Texans Takeover, you said you were some kind of computer science something. Shoot me a DM on one of the platforms and maybe we can connect on an app or something. And most of these mocks aren't realistic. I'm counting on you for a decent mock here, Blessings. This is going to be a collective one. It's going to be what the fans think. So good year for Trinidad to come out. Just unfortunate he can't get another year development. Yeah, I'm surprised he was even trying to not, enter the draft given the weak class and not riding the hot hand, So it's worked out better for him, honestly. Shout out to Facebook fam. We got K. Smallridge Clark. CJ is a very humbled person that loves what he does and, yes, takes heat when he doesn't play well. He certainly takes the blame when the blame needs to be taken. I, for one, hate all the haters, win or lose. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't really hate anybody for anything. Like, people are justified on both sides, but my whole thing is like, let it happen in the moment. I still believe in him long term, and he'll take us where we need to go. It is what it is. Criticism's fair. Let it happen. It's going to fuel him. We'll be all right. So that's kind of how I'm looking at all that. But yeah, without further ado, let's kind of look. I've been using PFF, their mock draft. So let's see here. Share my screen, and there we go. All right. IG, I'm sorry if I'm missing you guys. It's kind of flowing on the other platforms. Fit Dad said, I also like the great tight ends coming out of Iowa. And James Dad's a long tenure coach there. Yeah. And also, I've been forgetting, but we still have Luke Lachey, who we got from Iowa last year late in the draft. And Luke Lachey is a development guy. So maybe he's going to come along and maybe can start, showing something, maybe not, but like, we can't forget about him. Yeah. And so then obviously the hire with Ferentz is his dad is the head coach at Iowa, and they got three guys. They had the best O-line in all of college football last year, and three of them are going into the draft. My man crush, Jennings Dunker, is going into the draft. And so they got I forget Logan, slipping my mind right now, Logan so-and-so, and another guy, on the interior offensive line as well that could be available. So like maybe that's a connection there. Shout out Trill Jimmy on IG, says go Texans. So yeah, so I think we will do we'll do the full 7. Screw it. And let's just go with the normal deals there. We are pick 28. And let's see here. We will start draft. And we can kind of go through some of the picks. I'll just say like the first round, obviously Mendoza 1 to the Raiders. Arvell Reese, number 2 to the Jets. Ruben Bain, number 3 to the Cardinals. Jordan Tyson, number 4 to the Titans. David Bailey, number 5 to the Giants. Caleb Downs, number 6 to the Browns. Jeremiah Love, number 7 to the Commanders. Carnell Tate, number 8 to the Saints. Sonny Styles, number 9 to the Chiefs. Jermod McCoy, number 10 to the Bengals. Mansour Delane, number 11 to the Dolphins. Francis Mauga, I butchered that. I know I did. Mauga, I'm not going to try to say it again. Number 12 to the Cowboys. Peter Woods, pick 13 to the Rams. Cassius Howell, number 14 to the Ravens. Keldrick Falk, number 15 to the Bucks. So yeah, like we don't need an edge. I think we could take one at some point in the draft, to be depth if we don't re-sign Barnett and Autry, and be like a eventual replacement for Hunter if and when he is, his contract expires if he doesn't get extended. So, but like we're not, edges are always getting picked high, so like they're off the board. Corners, like we're not really in a need for a corner, a receiver. Like these guys are all getting. So we're getting positions that we need. They're not really getting plucked, is what we're seeing here. Mekhi Lemon, receiver from USC to the Jets at 16. Avion Terrell, cornerback, number 17 to the Lions. See? Caleb Banks, defensive interior. I like him. Showed flash at the Senior Bowl, but he's just, he has a lot of what you want. He's like a Chris Jones type, big guy in the interior. Number 18 to the Vikings. Spencer Fano, number 19 to the Panthers. And I hear his name, and this is a guy that I would want if he were to fall to us. Ala Vavega Ione, I believe. Tell me how to pronounce his name, somebody. Someone said Autry plays good inside. Pause. Henry Guy, what's going on, brother? Thanks for tapping in. 4 picks in the top 70. That's right, Grafa. Bo Stevens, yep. It was great for this past seasons if that's a player. It's Bo Stevens and another guy for Iowa on the O-line. Let's rock out. Blessings on the mock draft. And so this is a good question here. Jackson Miller, is there anyone in your eyes worthy of trading up to get potentially? I said initially the only person worth it to me was Jordan. I'm having a brain fart right now. Jeremiah Love, sorry. And like if he were to fall, and I was thinking how late would Jeremiah Love have to fall for y'all to trade for? It's a good question. It's a good thought exercise. Ola Viega. I'm getting mixed reactions here. Ola Viega. How do you pronounce his last name? Vega wins. Little Street Fighter dude. Everyone calls him Vega though. I'll call him Vega. That sounds good to me. So I don't know about you guys, but Jeremiah Love is definitely one person I would consider. Again, obviously we don't know right now, depending on how running back is addressed or not addressed in the offseason, if Mixon's healthy, ready to go, if he's on the team. I know he's under contract, or if they end up getting someone, like Breece Hall, or they don't. If we need a running back and he's there and he's sliding down and he's like 16, I might consider trading up. Someone mentioned Kenyon Sadiq potentially, but I would say Kenyon Sadiq, obviously the most complete tight end, obviously a great receiving threat. I think he's a pretty good blocker. I don't think he's like an elite blocker. That's the only reason I would hesitate. But, you heard reports last year, and I don't know if they were true or not, but evidently the Texans were trying to trade up in the draft to get a tight end last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Nick Caley, tight ends coach, tight end definitely lacked for us last year. Like, would they try and do that? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts if y'all want to trade up for Kenyon Sadiq. And then, you could make the argument for someone like Caden Proctor, but for me, for tackle or a tackle who could kick into a guard, there's just when you get down to Caden Proctor and you got Caleb Lomu, who one of those two guys may fall to us at 28, or if it looks like they may not, I just feel like there's plenty more tackle/guards that aren't too far off of that you could still get at 28. So that's why I'm there's only certain guys and positions. Vega, you could maybe do that. Vega, if he starts to fall, I would be down to trade for Vega because he is a plug and play left guard. Boom, immediate stud. Whereas the other guys are tackles and you got to shuffle stuff and they may go to guard and you're not sure how they'll translate. So I would definitely trade for Love if he were to slip to 15, 16, 17. And I would trade up for Vega if he started to slip to the early, late 20s. Me last year, this time of the year when we were talking, I was saying, hey, we're in a win now mode. Cash out all these bullshit late round picks, trade up and go get some difference makers. And we didn't do it. And so I was like, man, like that was me and my vision. I would still be in the same thinking. Like I still think it's good that you don't get over aggressive and go all in and still build a sustainable roster. But I mean, at what point are you going to mimic what you did early on when you traded up to get CJ Stroud and Will Anderson Jr., whichever order you want to consider it was done. But obviously it was Stroud and then Will Anderson Jr. But like we saw that they had the ability to get aggressive. Obviously that was in a rebuilding mode, but overall for the most part since then, it's been more so conservative trade back. But like at what point, Caserio says he doesn't know what a window is, but like we're in a window, you're probably you're facing, having to potentially extend Stroud this offseason. You got 1 year on the rookie deal left and more than likely a 5th-year option. So you got like 2 years, potentially 3 if you extend them and then, kick the can on the road that first year of cap day. But like the window's kind of closing as far as taking advantage of that before now you get the shift to where, you don't have as much money to spend on your defense. So at what point will you just cash in and trade up for a running back, cash in and trade up for a legit guard or a tackle? So I think that's a good thought exercise. And Brandon says Aaron Wilson said the Texans were trying to trade up for Kelvin Banks, Tyler Booker, and Donovan Jackson last year, and there were 0 trades between picks 6 to 24. Yeah, so I mean that is part of it too. Is like I think the position we were in last year kind of sucked. Like, and it's also like the position of like what we need, where we're at, and the people in front of us where they are and what they need. I think it's a much better positioning than last year. Texans takeover, Vega, Sadiq, and Love are the only guys worth the trade, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's what I was saying too. User B1922 on YouTube. Just kidding. It's got a bunch of letters, but he says Love is the only trade-up guy. I can see that. I also love Jonah Coleman, says Arthur. Yeah, and so Jonah Coleman is somebody I haven't dove into super closely, but I knew I loved him firsthand. Watching the season overall, college football fan. And as far as I mean, I need to look into like right now. I wouldn't mind. Sorry, I've got so much information and stuff going through my head. The backup running back for Notre Dame, I should know. I just posted about him, Jadarian Price. I would definitely take a look at him in the 2nd or 3rd as well. But Jonah Coleman, who knows? He might be better than him. I mean, I think I'd be happy with either. Yeah, I talked about Stroud's haircut, Henry. I'm blessing it. Let's see. Who else would I miss here? Lee Hunter in the O-line in the 2nd. So, I mean, like, last year, I think there's multiple ways to think about a draft. You can do a predictive mock draft where you're like, I think this is what they will do, which is like what I will start to do this offseason. We can do this one here as what we want as fans. But as far as like the mock drafts, I am like super analytical and like, you need this position, this position, this position. And I was like, don't go get another big X receiver like Higgins. You got DeMeco. So, and then they go and do that. Oh, don't get another receiver. You already got plenty of receivers. They go and get Jalen Noel. So it's shown that Caserio will go BPA. So I am coming more around to it, like whatever. But I forgot what spurred that comment there. So if we were to, but like we're also in a good position again, like about the glaring needs, like and the way the draft is and the position and like all the players, like we could go defensive interior, even though we need O-line at 28 and get a Lee Hunter or you could get a Caleb Banks if he's there. There's like a handful of guys, the guy from Ohio State, the big Caden McDonald, like if he's there, and you could still turn around on the back end in round 2 and still get a legit O-lineman and you can still get a legit running back later. So we got a lot of options, bro. Like I'm open to all of it. Like even tight end, like I'm open to it. Normally I'm like, nope, you have to do this. So, I'm growing. I'm becoming more open-minded. But it's mostly because of the position we're in. And shout out Grappa. Yes. He talks about Dunker at guard. Yes, that's my guy. And you know what? I don't mean to be like hyping this up or teasing it. I just enjoy the back and forth, but let's just start here. So let me finish going through the other picks to lead us up to where we're at. So Our guy Vega got taken by the Cowboys. They took our guard last year in Tyler Booker. Now they're going to take our guard again. Hell no, dude. Denzel Boston, 21 to the Steelers. 22, Caden McDonald, who people have been mocking. Lance Zierlein. Shout out Lance Zierlein. He mocked him to us at 22. He's going in this simulation to the Chargers. At 23, Caleb Lomu is going to the Eagles. And at 24, Ty Simpson is going to the Browns. Interesting. Ty Simpson, dude. And then Caden Proctor, another guy who's been getting mocked to us a lot. He's gone in this one. He's going 25 to the Bears. And then you got CJ Allen, linebacker from Georgia, going to the Bills at 26. At 27, you got Kenyon Sadiq. So that's off the board for us right here to the Niners, which would be a great fit with Shanahan and that offense. So right now, let's start with this. We can look at the trade options. I don't like to get into it. We'll do one. I guess if we do this one quick, we can do another one, or I can do like an episode each week where we have different parameters where maybe one week the parameter. Hey, someone says Charles Deming's best corner in the draft. Just watch. That's my guy, dude. I went to SFA, Axum Jacks. I interviewed him. That dude is dope, dude. I asked. He was a very passionate guy, and then he's special, man. So shout out. Let's see. Shit talking suave says, "What's up, Stresses? Nice to see you running a mock. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it." So there's some trades out there. And I don't, the trades, I mean, I don't know. So it says here, let's see, select a team to trade with. I guess we have to present the trade. But let's start with this. You know what? I'll just throw the names out there. That makes sense. Obviously, we're not going to go edge, receiver. Okay, here's our options. And y'all can spam the chat with what y'all want, and we'll kind of find a pick on it. And then once we pick the player, I can go and like put up highlights and we can watch the player. At pick 28, would you want Christian Miller, defensive interior from Georgia? Again, that's another. There's several tackles on the defense that you could get at this spot. Monroe Freeling, who I like as well, dominant tackle, could probably play both tackles, maybe go to guard. I don't know. He's a big guy, probably either tackle from Georgia. We don't need a corner or edge. You could vouch for a safety. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, you could say a strong safety type, to compete with Jaden Reed or at least be depth is something out there. So, and this mock, it seems like our work was kind of cut out for us. Like guys that have been, it really comes down to, we kind of got screwed on this one. So it comes down to Christian Miller or Monroe Freeling really in this one. Let me see, unless somebody is convicted on another. Emmanuel Pregnon, I know in these mocks he's going later. There's another option, or at tackle you got Max. I know I keep saying his name wrong. Ianaker, or is it Ehanakor? Ehanakor, right? Is how you say it. So who should we get? Max Ehanakor, or should we wait and get him? I know again he may be going later in this than he will. In the actual drafts, Christian Miller or Monroe Freeling, or if there's anybody else, let me know what y'all think. And let's see here. And let's go here. Scroll up a little bit. This is an offensive draft, ladies. I'm a cameraman for SFA Football. Dope. Yeah, I played there 07 to 11. I was there with Jeremy Moses. He won the Walter Payton Award. He was basically the Heisman in FCS. He was our quarterback and my roommate for all 4 years. And he's now a coach at Colorado State. Let's see. Offensive lineman. Jay Lee says, as a Bulldog fan, no Miller. Tell me the argument against Miller. And then the other thing, too, to think about, which is tough for us fans, and maybe we can get a glimpse and kind of project, but like if you are not swarm, if you're not, a hard worker, team first, good work ethic, all that stuff, they won't draft you. That's more of, if there's any kind of questions on that, that's more of a free agency risk. But like they're building this team through that, so they will not take risk on that. So Optimistic says Freeling too light. I'd be working a trade out. Yeah, we kind of got screwed on this. Or go crazy on Parker, Pregnon or Basantis. You would take them here, huh? Drop to 33, 36 and draft Hunter. I don't hate it. Henry says, did I say Hunter got taken or did they not show him on here? Let's see. Is Hunter also available? Defensive interior. Yeah, Lee Hunter is available. Yeah. So, I mean, I would be fine with, most of those names right there. So, Jay Lee says that was close, Stressens. I appreciate it. In the actual KC Concepcion, let's see. Arthur, yeah, we need to stop drafting weak linemen like Green, Scruggs, and Fisher. W from and M. Wide receiver from A&M. Concepcion. You want a receiver at 28? That's crazy. What's going on? Coleridge, Bernard Stroud on X. Long time no see, boss man. So Pregnon is what I'm hearing. Ionaker or Blake Miller is what Texans Takeover is saying. Optimistic says Lee Hunter is my pick if I can't trade back. Basantis is probably the best pure pass protector in the draft. He's worth it here. And then Texans Takeover or pick up 33 and 41 from New York. Yeah, so I would love to you know what? Screw it. We're going to trade back. All right, so select team to trade back with. Aren't they supposed to offer the trade to me? I got to pick it up. So the Bengals are behind us and they are at pick 41. Let's see what to offer them. My brain's kind of frozen right now. All right. So obviously we're going to give them our 28th overall pick, and then we'll take their 41 and 72. Oh man. So we can get 48, 72. What about 110? Nope. 188. Man. So we can get 41, 72, and 188 for our 28th pick, and that has a 62% chance. And we can add in, geez, dude. Are we going to do this? Or are we going to just trade? Because once I do one trade, I'm going to trade my ass off. We're going to get all these picks, and we're just going to trade our ass off. So let me see if it's a round 2 pick. No, round 2 next year. But we want to draft. We want to get picks now. So we're going to go 72. All right. We're going to do it. We're going to offer this trade. And we got it. Wow. So we traded the 28th pick for the 41st from Cincy this year, the 72nd, 188, and 198. That's all right. Top of the second. It's whatever, dude. We'll be fine. I might have messed up there, but we'll see what happens. Resume draft. We might have screwed ourselves. I might start this. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to do that? I just figured they would put the closest team next to us. But yeah, so they took Christian Miller at 28. At 29, Brandon Sissay went to the Rams. Monroe Freeling, 30 to the Broncos. TJ Parker to the Patriots, 31. Akeem Mesidor, 32 to the Seahawks. Keith Abney, number 33 to the Jets. Concepcion, 34 to the Cardinals. I mean, we had a couple guys snipe, but after that, it's not. 35, Anthony Hill Jr. to the Titans. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren to the Raiders. Gabe Yakis, or I think that J is silent as like an H. Gabe Hawkes. That guy's actually pretty good. I mean, so we still got guys out there. So we traded back and we got some stuff, and now we're going to trade back up later. This is exactly what he does. He trades back. They like this little middle part of the draft. So let me pull up interior O-line. Let me pull up offensive tackle. Let me pull up running back, tight end. And so we have the options of, let's see here. We still got plenty of the guys we want. So we got Pregnon, Jadarian Price, Stowers, Ehonikor. Is that how you pronounce it? Ehonikor. Connor Liu. Let's see here. What else am I missing? I'm missing another defensive interior. Lee Hunter's there. And now, okay, at this spot, do we want, we're at 38 right now. We pick again at 41. Should we take Emmanuel Pregnon, Stowers, or Hunter? I'll give it to that. Everyone's saying Pregnon. All right. If you spam it, We'll get Pregnon. Boom, Pregnon. All right, and then boom, we're good. Chris Bell went next to the Browns. Bernard went to the Chiefs. And so now here, do we get Lee Hunter or do we get Ihanakor? Is Ihanakor the start this over? Why is it not fair? I mean, this is pretty funny, dude. It's my first mock draft, so it's I'm knocking the rust off myself. Panicking after round one didn't fall your way. Caserio, that's exactly what I did, dude. But hey, I think it's kind of working. Thanks for that, dude. Thanks for boosting my confidence. OP trade, bro. Keep going. Thank you, dude. And so right here, should we get? We should definitely get Hunter. Okay, we'll get Hunter. My boy Hunter. Boom. All right, and then damn, it's gonna go too fast. I probably should have traded up because now we got some capital to trade up. Okay, so we got Hunter. Let's see what else. Okay, all right, we're at 59, and so I put it on turbo. So like now I'm gonna have to. Where should I try and trade up to after this? So, I mean, right here we got, a tackle from. Is Ihanakor still down there? Oh, dude, we're gonna crush this as far as fan favorites. This isn't fair to trade. So right now we're at 59 and 69. Nice. And so I'll kind of say what I like. We'll see what y'all like. But, cornerback, probably not. No. Caleb Tiarnan from Northwestern. I honestly have no intel on him, but he's the top ranked tackle according to PFF. Omar Cooper Jr., he's a stud, but receiver we don't need. Jadarian Price, I'm down for that. Max Ihanakor. Someone tell me how to spell his name. Ihanakor. And then, so tell me this too. So, do y'all want Jadarian Price as well? Should we pick Max here and let it ride out to 10 more picks to 69, or should we try and pause it after we pick Max and trade up with some of that capital we got? So let me know. Let me know if we should try and trade up, or if we should save that capital to trade up later in the round 3, because our remaining picks are 59, 69, 72, 106. So, I mean, we got one more in the second, and then we got 2 in the third. So maybe we can cash out some of these 4th, 5th round picks to move up into the third. So, yep, Oregon guard is a stud. I agree. And so move back up, but like, should I move back up into the second, or should I just wait and move back up into the third, I guess is what I'm saying. And it depends on, so we're set right here on Max. I imagine after that, people might want to get, I know not everyone's sold on Jadarian Price, and there's still, the Washington running back after that. And then after that, you start getting some tight ends who are decent. Max Clare, Jack Indries, Michael Trigg, Jake Slaughter, Jonah Coleman's a name down there. Emmett Johnson, Jennings Dunker, my guy. Justin Jolie, he's a solid tight end. Chase Basantis is down there. Jacob Rodriguez is down there. Sam Hecht is a name that's going around. So let's see here. All right, so Price is nice. The drop off from Price to other backs isn't that big, to be honest, to trade up. Okay. So move up into second. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try and do it because it's on turbo. I'm going to draft. We'll see how quick my trigger finger is. We're going to draft Max right here. And then with the next pick, are we going to get, okay, so we're going to draft Max. After Max, are we set on Jadarian? We have to have a plan of who we want next. Is it going to be Jadarian? If so, we probably need to jump a team that wants a running back, which they have the Broncos at with running back, but I don't know if they really need a running back. Maybe the Seahawks would be the team to jump. I don't know. Oh, you can slide the speed down. Do you want to adjust settings? Oh, no, I don't. I cannot. Oh, you know what? It's right there. Dude, you are so smart, Mr. Optimistic. I would be lost without you, brother. Yeah, I turned it down. I learn something new every day. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's get our boy Max. Thanks for the patience on the long drawn out theater. And I can pause it, right? Where's the pause button? All right. So they took the tackle. Okay, we didn't want the tackle. So should we let the Rams pick? Yes or no? Someone give me a quick answer. Let the Rams pick. They need a QB, tackle, and cornerback. I would think that, yes, you let them pick. And they took Cooper. All right. Do we trade with the Broncos? Let the Broncos pick or no? What do you think? Should I allow the Broncos to pick here? And if you're listening to this on the podcast later, like the next day or whatever, sorry if it's not fun. Maybe you learn some info about some guys, maybe you don't. Okay, I will let them pick. I will let the Broncos pick, and they are picking D'Angelo Pons, corner. We good. We Gucci. All right, so now we're only about 8 picks or so until our next pick. Patriots are out. They need a guard, tackle, edge, and linebacker. Let them pick or go. Me and my target would be Jadarian Price. But I'm not. I would be fine getting Coleman instead, or potentially a Nebraska running back as well. So, you know what? I'm gonna let it run all the way until they got the linebacker Josiah Schroeder. The Seahawks. I told y'all they were gonna get them. Fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But yeah, that's if they don't. They're assuming Kenneth Walker walks in that scenario. But hey, all good, dude. The Seahawks took Jadarian. Y'all were telling me to trade up in the third. That was the move. But hey, we should be able to get Jonah Coleman still. So we'll see what the first pick in the third does. Jack injuries. He's solid. Tight end from UT. Chandler Rivers. I interviewed him. Shout out my boy Jonathan Packey. He's the DC at Duke. Here's the Raiders. Let's see what the Raiders get. They got Elijah Surratt. I like that guy. He's nice, but we don't need him. And now the Eagles pick, and they're going to get Max Clare. Damn, that's a tight end we could have got. Now I'm kind of stressing because tight end was a play. I don't know about y'all, but Sam Roosh. Sam Roosh, dude. Or I keep saying his name wrong. I need to write some of these guys, especially if I fall in love with the guy. I listen to it and hear it. I'm pretty sure it's Roosh, right? Or is it Roush? Someone correct me. I like Trigg too. Trigg's a playmaker, but I don't know how y'all feel, but if we're gonna get a tight end, that motherfucker has to block, dude. We can't get and maybe you can make the argument you get a receiving tight end and that is the eventual full-time replacement for Schultz, and he's an upgrade. And then Cooper says Roush. Okay, that makes more sense. Sam Roush definitely makes sense. All right, so we're here at 69. Nice. Yeah, we definitely shouldn't have traded from pick 69. And right now, is it going to show us the players we drafted? Where do we go to our board? Draft a player analysis. How do I see the players we drafted? Am I tripping? Someone tell me if it's somewhere on. Oh, your picks right there. So right now, here's our picks. Emmanuel Pregnon. We traded back at pick 38 in the second. And then at 41, we got Lee Hunter, defensive tackle from Texas Tech. Then we got Maxi Hanakor, round 2, pick 59. Again, probably saying his name wrong. I will do my research after this and make sure to write down the correct pronunciations. And so now, we got a guard, we got a nose tackle, and a tackle. So we got 2 O-linemen, and we got we fit several of our needs already. I know we don't believe in needs with Caserio. So here at 69, we need to figure out Connor Liu is a center that a lot of people are high on. Dominic Orange, he's a defensive interior that's people are high on, but we've already gotten our defensive interior. You could get an edge, but I don't really know much about Anthony Lucas out of USC. You could get tight end. Michael Trigg, we talked about. Jake Slaughter, that guy, we could get him. Jonah Coleman, that's kind of where I'm leaning. So if we want to get a running back, we do pick again with our trade at pick 72. So we don't have to worry. Emmett Johnson's another running back. Oh man, I love the position we're in, and Jennings Dunker is still there, bro. We can really. I know it's overkill to get a bunch of O-linemen, but if you get 3 O-linemen, or potentially 4 through the whole draft, you can get hopefully 1 to 2 starters. I know you don't want a whole bunch of rookie starters, but the worst case, you improve your depth now and long term. So All right. So what we doing here? We're doing Jonah Coleman, Michael Trigg, or we doing Jake Slaughter or Connor Liu? If there's another name, spam it. A safety could be, again, like we could get picky and get a safety. We could get, a strong safety to compete in there in case our boy Jalen Reed isn't, uh, reaching his potential quite yet, or just for depth, honestly. But I'm thinking Coleman. What y'all think? Coleman. All right. Yep, Coleman. I love the anticipation, or not anticipation, but is that the right word? The suspense, I think is what I'm trying to say. Jonah Coleman it is. We're drafting Jonah Coleman. And guess what? We pick right away again. Connor Liu after that by the Browns, and Chris Brazzell, the receiver for Tennessee, to the Commanders. And guess what? We're up again. Now what do we do? Here's our picks. We got Pregnon, Hunter, Ihanakor, and Coleman. So we got 2 linemen, defensive tackle, and a halfback. Do we want to go tight end? Bud Clark is nice from TCU. So let's just look at safety and tight end. So tight end, the best available between those two positions, Michael Trigg, Baylor, Justin Jolie. And you know what I should have been doing? You can click on all this shit and y'all already know this, but like obviously the grades take with a grain of salt, but like, I mean, if we don't really have much to go off except for like watching a couple of minutes of tape, it's still a pretty good reference. But you got the stats. And I guess it's on the app, where like on the app you can see like maybe it doesn't show it on here. On the app, like if you look at it, it'll show you, or no matter, first look. You can go to stats, trends. It's not on here. But like on the app, when you look at it, it does something like snaps at position. If you're looking at like a tackle and how many times he's played guard or the other tackle spot. They have Jacob Rodriguez. It looks like he's moving up on here. I know he's kind of been like way back, but they have him at 90. And so linebacker, let's add, we got safety on there. Let's see what else we can add. We can add more interior line. Let me just do all of it. Why am I doing this? Let's just do all of them and scroll down. But start throwing some names out there, and we'll kind of aggregate to what we want to do. So Triggs a name, Slaughter's a name, Blake Miller, tackle from Clemson's a name, Tayron York, linebacker. We could get a linebacker, dude. Like, I mean, we're in a spot where we could get a linebacker to develop. Emmett Johnson, Jennings Dunker, Darrell Jackson Jr., another nose tackle, Justin Jolie, tight end, North Carolina State, Chase Basantis, guard. I see y'all vouching for him in there. Jacob Rodriguez. He's, obviously the further down I go, the further down it is on the list. Sam Heck, center. Zakee Wheatley, I haven't seen him, but safety from Penn State. So I think that's a pretty good list there. Give me a name out of that, and then we can likely trade up after that. So let's see. Zach Wheatley is a dog. Wheatley is I need to start looking at safeties because, I mean, that could be nice to get a legit strong safety. This is why I want to do this, because I want to get y'all's opinions on this stuff, because, I mean, it's hard for all of us to look at every position, but I know a lot of y'all have looked at some stuff for a while. All right, so scrolling down to see where we're going to be. I think Bud Clark is a stud, but he's way down there. So the next pick is at 106. So we're at 72 now, and we'll probably trade up. I mean, because we got a boatload. We got 72, 106, 128, 165, 188, 198, and 2 more after that. So, and really, this is the recipe for Caserio. We got a late first round pick. You trade back, and then you take at the top of the second. We have, we took twice in the second, and then you use that extra capital to trade back into the third. I mean, this is what he does, dude. So you want J-Rod right here. So we're going to trade back up. So we could trade back up for J-Rod. So just know that we are going to trade back up. I will make that executive decision right now. So we're getting Dunker or Jackson. and then we're hearing J-Rod. So I would like J-Rod as well, but like, are we okay with getting somebody else? Because on this board, again, this is not realistic necessarily, but he's not till 90. Should we get one of these other guys first and then trade up for J-Rod? Like, we can trade up, in just a couple picks here to get J-Rod. So move up after this pick and get J-Rod. Okay, so we'll get up we'll move up to get J-Rod. So that leaves us with I like my boy Roush, tight end from Stanford. I like Trigg, but again, the blocking. So do we want Trigg? Do we want to wait for tight end? Maybe try to get Roush later. And so that would kind of leave us right now between. What would it leave us in between? Jennings Dunker is probably the pick there, or Chase Basantis. Jennings Dunker, or we could get Orange. Do y'all want to get 2 defensive tackles? I mean, because it could be a scenario where the only defensive tackle we have left is Tommy Togiai. Like if Sheldon Rankins isn't renewed, if Mario Edwards is cut, if Autry isn't re-signed, I believe, right? Who else is there? Like, I mean, we got a lot of free agents, so I didn't think about that. Okay, so we're good with Roush. So I think we kind of got Roush in our back pocket later for tight end. Okay, so all right, let me give you all some options here. The plan is we're gonna pick a guy here, and then we're gonna trade up to get J-Rod. So right now it's between Dominique Orange, another defensive tackle, and between Michael Trigg, Jake Slaughter, and Jennings Dunker, and Darrell Jackson Jr., and Chase Basantis, which we can get some of those guys later too. We can trade them and get those guys too. So I think I'm leaning Orange. You guys cool with Orange? Jackson Miller, have you done any analysis of the University of Houston tight end Tanner Koziel? I've watched him a little bit. I watched him a little bit at the Senior Bowl. I got access to film on there. I watched his one-on-ones. He made some plays. I think he's not what we need personally. Like, I love him. I love U of H, but like with my, what I've been telling y'all as far as like we need someone who can at least block. I don't think he's a great blocker. I think he's more of like a big slot, if anything. That's not, and maybe he could develop into that. But he'll probably, go late and still be a good pick. I don't think he's a good fit for us personally. So compare Jackson Jr. and Orange. Okay. All right. So we're going to compare Jackson Jr. So here's Dominique Orange, defensive interior from Iowa State. Let's see. He's 6'4", 325. So that's a little bigger. Okay. Yeah, they do show the snaps by alignment. So, I've been looking for like a nose tackle, like a one tech, like a legit nose tackle. And we really don't have that big body to eat up double teams, even though Tommy Togiai does it undersized because he's so strong. But you look at A gap and B gap. And so Dominique Orange, if you're lining up in the A gap, you're more of that, like he is like a true one tech is what I'm seeing here. And so that intrigues me, bro. Like a true one tech, Dominique Orange, 412 snaps in the A gap to 92. Normally it's like most guys are like 2-to-1 B gap to A gap alignment. So let's see here. Hey, I appreciate that. Someone says one of the few Houston Twitter accounts. I enjoy it. I appreciate that. I'm late, but show previous picks impossible. Yes, I will show in just a second. All right. And so FM is what someone says. Basantis. Okay, so I'm kind of intrigued by this, dude. So Dominique Orange. Let me see if I can go back to my picks. And so we already got Lee Hunter. Lee Hunter, for example, his A gap to B gap, 185, A gap, 317. So he's more of the 3 tech, and his height and weight, 6'4", 330. So, I mean, now we're going to get big. 6'4", 330, Lee Hunter. And it could be the scheme you're into. Dominic Orange, 6'4", 325. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, we'll pick Orange. Thanks for the okay, but real quick, for those asking, Emmanuel Pregnon, we traded back, got him in the second at 38, picked up Hunter at 41, picked up Max at 59, Coleman at 69. Nice. So now here's the plan, though. I need y'all to help me preemptively kind of decide. I turned the speed down on the trade, but right here we're going to pick Orange. And I think we've already decided that next we want Rutledge is still on the board. They got him way down there. So we can still get Rutledge more depth on the O-line. But here's the deal. We're going to get Orange, and we're going to want to get J-Rod, who on PFF is ranked 90. And so do we need to trade in front of the next team that would need linebacker? Because we don't pick again until 106. As far as the needs of teams, the Bucks, they say, need a linebacker. So should we try and trade up to get J-Rod there? Says watch for York. If he goes, got to trade behind. That's a good point. So York is ahead of – okay, that's a good plan. Our barometer is that they'll likely go in order for the next linebacker. So if York goes, then we immediately trade up. All right. So thank y'all for hanging in there. This is probably – I don't know how fun this is. It's a lot of bullshit talking, but hey, you guys are helping me out. Michael Trigg taken by the Saints after us. Everett corner. All right. We Gucci. All right. We're maximizing value here. We're only trading if we need to. Okay, they took Slaughter. They didn't take a linebacker. Colts need a linebacker. Oop, didn't get him. All right, we're good. Appreciate that, Mitchell Perry. I don't know how it is on the other end. Like, I've watched other ones, but like, it's like I like the interactive engagement. So, this is what we do all day by ourselves. So it's kind of fun to do it collectively, and I'm learning stuff. Hopefully, y'all are learning stuff. Enjoy y'all's opinions and thoughts. Ravens took a receiver. Jaguars took Jennings Dunker. No, it's all right. That's all right. It's just a mock draft. It's not real. Okay, we're still good, dude. We're gonna wait till. All right, York's got traded for, or he got drafted. So, so now we're set on Rodriguez, right, boys, and girls, if there's any girls. And so, should we trade right now? Should we get risky? Should we get frisky here or risky? And should we wait until the next linebacker team's approaching to trade, or should we trade right now? So I'm trading right here. Okay. I appreciate the assertiveness. I need someone to help me be assertive. So it's gold day still there. Someone else could trade up. Okay. So that's a good point. Someone else could trade up. We're thinking like GMs now. All right. We're going to trade with the Steelers. Let's see. We want pick 85, and we're going to force it for nothing now. And so we will give you 106 in Park, and let's see if you'll take 198. That will not be accepted. 188. Man, what? Why is it doing this? Man, that's whack. Man. All right, so let's see. 53. Okay, so to get to 85, we can give them our 106, 128, and 188. And the 188 is from the trade we had with Cincy earlier. And we already picked with the 2 picks we had from Cincy earlier. So I think that this is – so Vossility, I agree. I mean, that's why I said at the beginning, like, I hate doing mock drafts. I like doing them, but, like, I know it's not real. And we're just having fun trying to, like, own the system. But, like, I agree. I mean, I think he's going way later than what he will be. But, hey, we're taking advantage of these rankings and this simulator. And, I think a lot of these will be different. Anyhow, we're gonna offer this trade. You better what? They're bitter because we beat their ass in the playoffs, dude. Steelers wouldn't take it. So let me throw in a little BS at the end. Should we give them the last 7th round pick? I agree. Vossility. I agree. And so should we give them the 244, or is that the 7th round pick? Let's see. Okay, so obviously this one is lower. We'll give them the 7th round. Let's offer that next year. Boom, we're on the clock. All right. And now we got J-Rod. Okay. So we're at 85 now. So here begs the next question. Like, if I were a GM, I would if I had, and I don't know, it doesn't really work that way, but I would try and get most of my picks between rounds 2 and 5. Like, after that, I'd be like, I'm good. Like 6th, 7th round picks, unless there's a player that we don't know about that's like a sleeper. Like, I would try and get rid of all the BS little ones back there and cash up. But like, should we have a plan after this pick to try and trade up for somebody else? So right here, we're going to take Jacob Rodriguez at 85, and he's ranked 90. We still want tight end. Our boy Roush is going to be – so after that, we probably want to get a tight end, I think, for sure. You know, I know this isn't BPA, but we're doing our mock draft. We're not Caserio right now. So he'll be at 101. So I really want him. I don't know about you guys. Do y'all want him or Jolie? Because after that, it gets thin. It gets real thin, especially for blocking tight end. So I'm dead set on Roush. And so we're going to have to move up. And Optimistic says going to be hard to move up after this one. Not much value left in the picks we have. That's true. We can give away some 27 picks as well. But so we picked 165. So, yeah, we're going to have to hope to get Roush. Carolina likes some sevens for some reason. I'm good with Caserio late. Yeah, I mean, Caserio, like, so if we don't get Roush, I don't know much about Marlon Klein. Josh Cuevas, I did like his route running, and his blocking apparently from limited film I've watched and just the grades isn't the best. But I thought he was a decent route runner personally myself at the Senior Bowl. I did watch that. And then, yeah, Caserio obviously is a popular name. He at least is a receiving tight end. Oh, dude, Nate Borkature from A&M, dude. I think he's a sleeper, bro. I would be fine with that. Like, if we didn't get where we wanted reasonably to get Roush, I would be fine with Borkature. Let me pull up his profile. I thought he's a great blocker, and I thought he was a pretty damn good route runner. Like, that dude was winning, bro. Overall grade 74 in 2025 on PFF. And will it show the receiving and blocking run block grade? 70. Oh, he's a good blocker? Oh, bro. I knew it. I saw the film. I saw him in person. This guy was mauling people, and he was catching the ball. Like, he is a guy that's a blocker that evidently wasn't an elite receiver who went to the Senior Bowl and showed that he can be a pretty good receiver. I will take the tight end that's a stout blocker with upside to become a better receiver than a tight end that's a great receiver with, you know, worrying about improving the blocking. To me, the receiving, we don't need some freak. It would be nice, but if we had to pick the mix, I would pick the latter, what I just said. So I wouldn't mind that late. So if that's in play, we pick Jacob Rodriguez. The next plan after that is, I know there's still, like, looking at the big board, you could take another running back, or we could trade up for Basantis. We could get a safety. We could trade up for Wheatley. Let's see who else we could try to get. Kind of go down a little bit, see what other names start to pop up. Bud Clark would be there later. That's a good name for a safety. There's like Isaiah World, a tackle from Oregon. Austin Barber, tackle from Florida, who I honestly personally did not think had a good Senior Bowl. Oh, dude, we did kind of, like, there are a lot of good defensive interiors late. Grayson Halton, Oklahoma, from the Senior Bowl, from what I saw, balled out. There was a couple other ones I saw too that were pretty good. Let me go to defensive interior real quick. Let's see here. Go to defensive interior, and Tim Keenan, he's a good late, in my opinion, from what I saw at the Senior Bowl. I know it's biased from watching that, and it's one thing. Tim Keenan and Grayson Halton, to me, are good value late defensive interior guys, which we already picked them. I know. I'm just saying, like, for future, for future ones. So those are two guys that you could get good value out of. But yeah, you know what? I'll stop with all the banter. We'll go ahead and pick our boy J-Rod and see how it kind of goes through here. We're not picking again until 165. So let's see. So I picked J-Rod. Tell me what we should target next. Borkature caught the game winner against Notre Dame. Oh, yeah, Rutledge is still out there. So it's not showing me the picks. But yeah, so Rutledge is somebody we can still get late. We still need a hard-hitting safety. So right now we have Pregnon, Hunter, Max, Ihanakor, Jonah Coleman, Dominic Orange, Jacob Rodriguez, and our next pick is in round 5, and we have a round 5, a round 6, and 2 7s. So, I mean, we could cash out right here and just trade most of these for one solid guy and walk away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That might be the move, fellas. We might just get one more solid player. So, Bud Clark. So I think we might. All right. So I agree. Bud Clark. And let me go back to it won't show me the players left. Okay. We'll just resume draft. And we'll kind of see what happens here. Emmett Johnson didn't need him. Jolie. So all right. I'm sorry. We want a tight end and a safety. So we're gonna let it ride a little bit. Pause. And try and get, okay, Wheatley, safety gone. Basantis gone. Will Lee gone. I mean, we're at 165. Maybe I'll speed this up a little bit, huh? Sap, Hex, okay. All right. Oh, no! Roush. All right, well, I'm all in on Borkature, dude. Sam Roush, I'm sorry. So right now we're all in on Borkature. He was like way down there, right? So we can still get Borkature. Sam Roush, I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Seeing names fall off that I could care less about or don't even know, honestly. Malik Muhammad. I saw him at the Senior Bowl. He was ass, dude. He was getting cooked. You know, from the one-on-ones. He was not doing good. Same with Austin Barber, tackle from Florida. One-on-ones, he was getting cooked. Malachi Fields, I saw at the Senior Bowl. Stud. Could develop into a Nico Collins-like. Not quite, but I mean, pretty good player. He looks pretty fluid for his size. Bud Clark is gone. No. Damn. All right, so what do we do now? Fuck, they took Bud Clark. Are we going to have to trade up? We kind of messed up there, so... it won't show me the board. Can you see the board when you're not available to pick? Should have traded up. Your pick. Let's see. All right. Let's just see what a trade up now is. So we want 113. We'll give you 165 and a couple 7s. Nope. Yeah, we don't have much trade ammo now. Round 6 next year. No. Damn, dude. We're kind of screwed. Let's see. You won't even take that? That's crazy. They won't take shit, dude. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely a diminishing return on picks. Let's see. No, we're not doing that. All right, let's try this and that. Sorry. That's crazy. Give away basically all of our remaining picks to go to 113. I think we just ride it out, right? Yeah, Rutledge is still going to be up there. We're just going to ride it out. We're going to see what happens here. That was a little too fast. I wanted to speed it up, but make sure we don't see any big names that we all got our eyes on here. Grayson Halton, we already got our defensive interior, but all right. We're resuming here. Picks are going. And Bo Stevens, Tim Keenan. Just calling off. Oh, no. Keelan Rutledge went to the Raiders at 134. All good. All right. Anderson, Perkins, Shelton, Hurst, Moss, Coogan. Coogan's a guy. Mike Washington went that late, bro. Mike Washington went in the 5th round. What? Kyle Lewis, great covered linebacker. He's a good potential pick too. But Mike Washington, Chase on Twitter pointed out a good point. Chase on Twitter that Washington, I think he's electric. I just noticed like sitting there chilling, like watching like corner of my eye. I'm like, oh shit, that was a nice catch. Who was that? And I was like, it was Washington. I was like, man, that's a great catch for running back. Like went up and got it with his hands. Like, man, that guy's big. And so I started watching him just catching routes on air, balling, and then watch one-on-ones, balling, watch all the one-on-ones again, like tore him up. But supposedly he has issues fumbling. So, you know, that could knock them off of their board. All right, so we're kind of surviving. Okay, we're on the clock. There's Tanner Koziel. But, you know, I I'm gonna get Borkature, and I'm gonna see where he's at. Borkature is 183. Our remaining pick is 198. I'm gonna try and do this. I'm gonna try and get, okay. Let's just see. Do y'all know much about these safeties late in the draft here? Because I don't. Oh, VJ Payne is someone I saw something on, and he's a hard hitter. I would take him late. That's all I got. Let me know if there's any of these safeties. Isaiah and Wacobia from SMU, Robert Spears Jennings from Oklahoma, Cole Wisniewski from Tech, Jalen Catalan from Missouri, Peyton Bowen. Are any of those guys worth looking at some point? Tell me. And so, if not, the best available is Tanner Koziel. I know y'all want him, but I want Borkature. And so Wisniewski from Tech is good. He's a ball hawk. Okay, that's good to know. So we have these picks left. Let's see what's left at interior line. Logan Jones, Iowa center we could get. That could be a good steal if that's an option there. So do y'all want Logan Jones? Do y'all want Wisniewski? He's the highest rated. Wisniewski's at 202, so we could wait to get Wisniewski. And then tight end Borkature is somebody that I want. I don't know anything about Oscar Delp, really, honestly. I don't know if y'all think he's a great tight end, but let me look at Oscar Delp, see what his blocking is. Oh, blocking 59. We're out, dude. So yeah, let's see here. Let's do should we go Logan Jones? We got 3 picks left. If I get Borkature, y'all are going to call me crazy, right? Yes, Koziel is one of the best receivers in the draft at tight end. I agree, but I can't get him. Like, we need a blocker, dude. Like, can we teach him to block? I'd take Koziel or Ott right here and double dip RB. Yeah, Ott's pretty nice. Wisniewski is solid. Shit. You know what? Am I trade back? No one's offering me a trade, so look at their blocking, then choose him. The blocking for the tight ends. Let's see. The John Michael Gillenborg guy, I interviewed him. He wasn't the best, and his grades aren't great either. Oscar Delp, like I said, y'all gonna call me crazy, but like I fell in love with Borkature. I mean, Borkature, dude, 72 run grade's pretty dang good. He's like top percentile blocking tight end, and I saw him receive well. Pause. So he's ranked at 183. We're at 165. All right, I'm gonna pick him. Sorry, guys. Yep, got my guy, dude. Koziel still hasn't gone, and they finally went now. All right, so now we're at. Let's see. Our next pick is 198, and we're at. We can still get our boy from Tech, safety. Oscar Delp, Casey Cage. All right, sweet. So let's get our boy from Tech, the safety. Cole Wisniewski. We will select you, my friend. This is where it's like, all right, things kind of get. We don't really know a lot of these names. You know, there's only so much you can go through as a fan. This has been fun. We'll only get better the more we do this together. Yeah, so I posted about Borkature, and I saw AD too. Obviously, he's from A&M, but obviously he's a fan, but that means he's also seen him a lot too. So Wisniewski may end up being a linebacker too, just as a side note, which for me, I think we need help at strong safety. Potentially is the fit, not free safety. So obviously Petrie is like your linebacker safety, that star role, but I mean, that strong safety is kind of like that too. So, all right. Let's see here. Sawyer Robinson. All right, we're almost back up again. We are on the clock. Luke Altmaier is the best available. I think he's very underrated, dude. All these quarterbacks. Oh, I guess Fano from Utah's got a brother, Logan Fano. Not a fan of him. Let's see here. Tight ends. We already got that. So right now, here's our picks. Pregnon, Hunter, Max, Jonah Coleman, Orange, Jacob Rodriguez, Borkacher, Wisniewski. And so we got, I guess we could get more depth on O-line if there's a guy there. Let's do interior line, tackle. Let's see who else is at. Edge, maybe. Any names on here that y'all recognize? I don't know any of these names. This is where, like, later in the mock draft season, you start to kind of do research and get grades on guys. Diego Pounds, might just get that just for the name. Jaron Kump, that's a good one. It's a good comp for Kump. Yeah, that's way down there, dude. Someone give me a name. O-line, Altmaier in case Mills goes could be interesting, or Max Bredesen. Yeah, so y'all been doing your homework. Is the wide receiver from JCU there, or the punter from the Senior Bowl? That's my two darlings in the 7th. That's a good point. A good point. O-line. Just realized we got the whole Tech defense. Oh, my God. We got all Tech. What are we doing, dude? But, hey, they spent a bunch of money. That's hilarious. We do have a lot of Tech guys. Let's see. RBs. Let me just do all. I keep filtering through players. I'll go to RB. Chip Trainum. Jam Miller is a name I recognize from Bama. And they got the gap grade on here. Shit, zone and gap. We should just find the highest gap. Wreck 'em. And then Lemon says Capena, Ole Miss. Who is Capena? What position is he? Yeah, Dean Connors, dude. I don't know why Dean Connors is so low. Why is Dean Connors so low? Dean Connors, look at this shit, dude. Played 13 games, 970 yards, 4.9 yards per attempt, 6 touchdowns, 34 receptions for 254 yards. His grades are 79.4, gap grade 79.7. Why is he so far down? But yeah, Tyron Montgomery, dude, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but that dude is a baller, bro. I saw it, and it's on the tape. And when I met and talked to Caserio and Frank Ross, like, they were talking about it. I know we don't want to hear it, but they were like, man, that guy's good. Or that was cool. Like, oh, he's from like the Woodlands too, or something like that. Like, Caserio didn't even know what it was called. He's from like Wood something. And I was like, Woodlands? And Frank was like, yeah, man, he beat all my records at John Carroll. But I think he'd be solid. So just going through all of them here. Let's just see. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'll just name out any names that are relevant that kind of pop up to mind. If y'all see any too, spit them out. This VJ Payne guy, dude, grades are pretty decent too. And he's this might be a good late pick for us. He was physical, I know that. Run stops 10, not a lot. But yeah, so anyhow, kind of going down to see if I notice any other names. Oh, Eric Gentry. I like that. We got a linebacker though, but this guy from USC is 6'6", 225 as a linebacker. I mean, probably going to have some trouble in the league with that frame, getting bullied, but like, they showed him at the game, the All-Star game he was at, just like freaking like an alien out there, just batting passes like all over the place. Like, that would be fun. Good little flyer on somebody. Who else is down there that comes to mind? Jack Velling sounds like it's 44 run blocking grade for a tight end. We're out. Yeah, dude, Dean Connors, dude. Why is he so low? Someone tell me. Okay, so we're spending too much time on this on the late rounds. I know John Carroll guy. He wasn't even in here that long ago, but Mont. Is he gone? No way he got drafted. Wide receiver. Squirrel White. That's the guy from Tennessee. I forgot about him. Squirrel White. What a name. Oh, dude. Jalen Waltall from the Word, bro. That's my guy, dude. Jalen Waltall. Let's go. I need to interview him for you guys. This kid is good, man. I think he should be drafted in like the 6th round. I think he's a 6th round talent. 6'2", 180, deep threat. He's got 4.4 speed. I think he'll test that way. He's the guy. I don't know if y'all saw Amon-Ra St. Brown do the headstand. He's the one who did it in college football for Incarnate Word the day before, went viral, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown did it, and then everyone else started doing it too. He's the headstand guy. But he's a great kid. He could have gone to a bunch of big schools and gotten a bunch of money, but he decided to stay at Incarnate Word, to stay true to the team and his coach and develop. That's so cool to see him on here. I might take him with my last pick because that's my guy, dude. All right. I'm going to take him with my last pick, but right here, all right. Namade Tucker, Western Michigan. Is he still there? Connors is definitely a Caserio pick. Oh, we don't have an edge rusher, so let's look at edge. We get some depth on the edge. I think that homeboy is Keon Crawford. I interviewed him at the Senior Bowl. Dean Miller, Marvin Jones, Evan Hubbard. Yeah, now it's getting down to the nitty gritty. All right, John Carroll. I don't see him. I think he got taken. Let's see. We should just draft like another tech player. Jeremiah Wright. I like Jeremiah Wright, Noah Whittington as the pair to Peyton Bowen, Bryce Foster, Eli Heidenreich. Eli, is it the last name? Okay, H. Mr. Optimistic wants the Thor. Let's see, Thor. Brett Thorson. Do they do grades on punters? Nope, they don't. Or at least doesn't have any. Okay, well, I'll probably do him. Trey Smith. Is he available? Trey Smith. Oh, damn. I guess all these guys are gone. Trey Smith, Brett Thorson. Let me look up, see if this Eli Heidenreich, H-E-I-D. Nope. Yeah, we're down on the bottom of the barrel, fellas. Bryce Foster. Let's see if he's there. Bryce Foster, center from Kansas, is there. Okay, good to know. Thanks for the name. Mental note. Don't let Gentry's length pause distract you from his other weaknesses. Yeah, I agree. He would be a late flyer for sure. Like you just hope that DeMeco can work on him for several years. Jeremiah Wright, Noah Whittington as the pair, or Peyton Bowen. Connors is definitely a Caserio pick. All right, so we'll get Thor for my guy. This is basically Mr. Optimistic's draft. And then I'm gonna get my guy, and people are gonna wonder who it is, and I'm gonna have to let them know who it is. But he's way on down here. But he's my homie, Jalen Waltall from the Dub. I probably should have traded back and got him with the last pick. All right, let's see what they gave us. And obviously, like I would say, if you get a good draft, you probably did bad. But look at all that. We got a B-. We'll take it. So we traded back out of the pick 28 from the first, and we received the 41st pick, the 72nd pick, the 188 and 198. And then we drafted Pregnon at pick number 38. We are pregnant for Pregnon. And then at pick 41, we got Lee Hunter from Tech. And then at 59, we got Max Yahanakor from Arizona State. Light feet, barely been playing football. For those who don't know, he was, I think he's, from overseas and moved here young and was like soccer player, then basketball player, and then has only been playing football for 3 to 4 years, potentially new to the game. But he's raw, but talented, good size, really good feet, did well at the Senior Bowl. Round 3, pick 69. Nice. We got Jonah Coleman round 3, pick 72, we got another nose tackle, Dominic Orange, and that was an A. And then I think we traded up to get him. We traded up with our 85th pick. Then we traded up to the 85th pick to get our boy Jacob Rodriguez. We gave up the 106, the 128, the 188 in round 7 of next year. And then we got the guy I wanted, Nate Borkacher, at 165, 198. We got Cole Wisniewski from Tech. And then at 243, Brett Thorson, the punter from Georgia. And then at 244, we got Jalen Waltall, receiver from Incarnate Word, the Dub. So, man, that was fun, dude. That was so fun, fellas. You guys are awesome. Like, I could do this every freaking day. Facility says they let Townsend walk. I don't think they will. I haven't looked into like our potential cap and what he would go for, but I don't feel like punters go for much, and I don't think it would be worth. I think that he is a proven punter, even though he was not playing super elite up to his level, but he's experienced, and I think, having him on the same page with, he's also the holder for kicks too. You have to think about that. That's a big part of the snap, kick, and hold. Him, Brinkman, and Emi have some chemistry there. So, but we did it for our boy. And, it's a late round pick, whatever. But yeah, so that's it. I'll have to screenshot and post to the social media. And I said we weren't going to trade. We did it because we kind of got screwed in the first there. A lot of our top guys at 28 kind of got sniped. So we decided to trade back. But yeah, so that was fun. Facility says, so on the D line, we either have 2 guys named Hunter or 2 guys named Daniil and Christian. That is true. That's a great point. But yeah, so that's all I got. That was fun. I will tomorrow be doing a show with Andre from the betting world, talking ball. I might go live on here. And then I'm going to try to go on with John Hickman to talk about the Senior Bowl tomorrow night as well for a little bit. So appreciate you guys. That was fun. If you got any feedback for me as far as what to do in the offseason to improve or this or that, whatever, let me know. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Until next time, we bless them.